This is Dave Stanton for Carbotech. Welcome to our video on the BS X3452C 2 horsepower 1500 watt 14-inch high capacity bandsaw. Here we go. For the purpose of lifting the entire saw, there is a lifting eye bolt at the top of the machine. If you are going to put the saw on a mobile base, it may be easier to do this before you remove the saw from the transport if possible. Support the bandsaw at the sides so it doesn't tip over if you are fitting a mobile base at this stage. Locate all of the items and check through to ensure that everything is there and that you haven't thrown anything out with the packaging. Also, check in the storage box at the bottom of the saw for other miscellaneous items. Remove the cast iron workpiece table from the cardboard box and clean it with a product such as turpentine. Wearing gloves is recommended. Remove the table insert when finished cleaning. Locate the 4 M8 bolts, spring and flat washers which connect the trunnion to the workpiece table, and keep these handy somewhere on the top of the body of the saw here. Slide the workpiece table past the blade from the rear of the bandsaw body and rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise and place it on top of the trunnion. While supporting the table with one hand, fit the 4 M8 bolts through the trunnion into the tapped sections of the table. At this stage, you may want to rotate the table up to 45 degrees to complete the fitting. Use a 13mm spanner supplied to tighten them. Adjust the workpiece table's limiting stop so that when the table is at 90 degrees to the blade, the protractor will indicate the correct angle. The limiting stop has a lock nut to ensure that the table will repeatedly come to rest at the same position. The limiting stop is also on a pivot that you can move it to the side to have a -degree angle. You'll notice that there are 2 handles fitted to the trunnion, one that adjusts the workpiece table's angle and the other will lock the trunnion in position. The location of the handles will not allow you to do one full revolution. So, these handles are of the spring-loaded type that you pull towards you, rotate to get a second purchase, and then release to re-engage the bolt for another grip to tighten. You may refit the table saw insert and also the table aligning bolt and nut. This bolt maintains the flatness of both sides of the blade access slot and keeps them level. There is a small metal bracket over here that you fit to the left-hand side of the workpiece table that must be flush with the top. This assists in supporting the rip fence. Fit the front rail that the rip fence clamps to, and you may notice there is no rear rail on this saw. The front rail is adjustable up and down as well as left and right to align the fence correctly to the blade. Complete assembling the fence, which has 3 parts: the fence, the clamp and rail with the scale, and the connecting piece. The miter gauge is capable of compound miters. To assemble, simply connect the miter bar to the fence using the handle as the connecting bolt. The saw is now fully assembled and requires the initial setup. The guide bearings on this saw are all tool-free bar one of them. There are finger clamps that hold the 2 double bearings in the top and bottom guides in position, as well as the slotted thrust race. The bottom thrust race will require a 5mm Allen key. Relax all of the blade guide bearings prior to adjusting them to their correct position. Be sure that the side blade guide bearings are behind the gullets in the blade and that the bearings are only just kissing the blade both sides, and that the thrust race behind is also just missing, so they are not turning when there is no load forced against by the blade. Do this for the top guides and also for the bottom guides. Tighten all of the guides when in the correct position. To set the initial tension of the blade, there is a hand wheel directly below the top cast iron wheel with a red indicator inside the window there that will automatically show you the amount of tension via a scale of 1 to 9, 9 being the tightest. To adjust the height of the top guides for different thickness workpieces, release the locking knob at the back of the machine and then use this crank on the side of the machine, and we will turn it counterclockwise to raise the blade guard and the top set of guides clockwise to lower. For the purpose of changing blades, the saw has a quick change saw blade system lever. Prior to tensioning the blade, ensure the lever is in the down position. Do not tension the blade with the quick change lever in the up position. There is a knob at the back of the saw with a locking clamp lever fitted. Relax the locking clamp and then adjust clockwise to track the blade to the rear of the saw and counterclockwise to advance it forwards. The lower wheel of the bandsaw is adjustable, but it is advisable to do all of your tracking via the top wheel. For more information, please watch the other videos that Carbotech have produced on features and benefits, safety in operation, and maintenance.